Hello, welcome to Studio Nicole. I am Nicole, and I'm so glad that you're here. Tonight, I'm going to spend just a few minutes adding some gold highlights to the backs of my Oracle deck. Now, if you haven't seen the first few videos in the series, what I have done is I have used the um, cards and I've glued them down onto the back of, I've done 3 of these. And I just used paints, inks. I did some stenciling and I did some stamping. If you come down a little closer, you can see some of the stamping and some of the mark making that I have done on various parts of this page. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to reuse these same stamps that I used with black ink, only I'm going to stamp in gold. I've got this Brilliance Galaxy Gold ink pad. I have some golden high flow acrylics and iridescent gold fine that I'm going to splatter on the page. And I have a gold chrome marker that I'm going to use to add just some random mark making on my pages. The idea is that once I cut these out, I want the back of each card to feel cohesive. So I'm trying to use repetitive patterns that will show up across a variety of different cards. So I'll be able to see the same pattern like repeating throughout. So all I'm doing is I'm just making some gold hash marks in kind of a random pattern. And I'm trying to cross several different cards when I do this. Um, I can feel with my fingers like where the edges of the cards are. And so I'm kind of like running across the different cards. I also feel like I need to re-ink my pen a little bit. It was getting kind of anemic, if that's a word that you can use for a pen. So I'm just randomly deciding whether I want to go vertical or horizontal. I'm trying not to create shapes that are too like square or predictable, maybe. And I'm trying to sort of meander um, through different color areas as well. So we've got some gold in the purple and some gold in the blues and some gold kind of bleeding down into the pinks. And hopefully by the time these all get cut out, it's going to look like this is just part of the design. Well, it is just part of the design. I'm losing my gold here. I guess the good news about this, doing this like this, is that it folds easily off the edge of the desk because it folds along these lines where the cards are glued down. Oh, I'm really excited about this project. I think it's going to be, I just think it's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see it like all finished when it all comes together. So hopefully you will all be as excited about the finished product as I am. Let me know in the comments if you've ever done anything like this and made your own Oracle deck. I have not. I really don't know a whole lot about it. I don't, as I've said in an earlier video, I don't want to offend anyone who believes one way or another. I feel like it could go either way. I could potentially offend people who think an oracle deck is, like blasphemous, but also I could offend people who practice, Wicca very seriously as their religion, and I'm sort of treating it not seriously enough. So please, don't come at me, I guess is what I'm saying. I just think that it'll be interesting. I think that sometimes we have to accept that the universe has a message for us that we may not always be ready to hear, and I'm hoping that this oracle deck will help me to be open to whatever message is coming my way. That's kind of what I hope to get out of it. So hopefully that'll work. All right. I'm kind of just looking overall at it to try and see if I need to add any. It sounds like there's a lot of ink left in here, but it's not like coming out very well. Let's see. Yeah, just trying to make it kind of spread all across the page in different areas, different parts of the page. We'll do some stamping. This, I have never had a gold ink pad that is this beautiful. I mean, it stamps beautifully. It's so vibrant. It's very visible. I guess that didn't really show up very well on camera, did it? Let me use this stamp. It's got a little more surface area, and I think it shows up a little better. It also depends on um where the light catches it sometimes. So I definitely am seeing this show up very visibly on my end. I think maybe in order for you to see it, I might need to pick this up um, and kind of get in there with the light. It's still not super visible online. I'm looking at the display, and it just doesn't show up quite the same way on camera. Sometimes it's just like that, huh? Anyway, I'm alternating the stamp in different directions. I don't know which way will end up being upright on the final cards. So I'm not keeping everything, in the same direction. I'm just altering the, um, goodness gracious, it's stuck right to the stamp. Let's go over here in this corner. Yeah, so I'm just altering the direction so that they're not all stamped identically. Let's use some of these text stamps. I really do think the gold really just pops on the page. It helps the design to kind of stand out a little bit. I'm a big sucker for gold ink anyway, so I don't think I can I don't think I can make a project without having a little gold accent on there somewhere. Um, certainly is something that I reach for a lot. Just and some of this is not stamped as like heavily, is that the word? Some of it's very subtle, which is, perfect to give us some variation. And I'm overlapping the other designs that are on here. And I'm not using the entire stamp, I'm just using parts of it. Just to add some little fine details. I'm looking for places where I don't have a lot of gold so that I don't end up having some cards with, none. I don't want that for sure. I want a little bit of gold on every card in the deck. I'm trying to make sure that I don't necessarily need to cover every inch, but I do want, oops, well, I do want, each card to have a little bit of gold on it. That's what I'm trying to do. It's hard because it doesn't all fit on my desk. These are pretty big sheets of paper. So if you did watch my earlier videos in this series, I will admit that I didn't count my subtraction cards very well, and I ran out. I didn't have as many as I thought I had. So I did have to go out to the Dollar Tree. So these were the cards that I started out with. And then these are the cards that I ended up with. They don't look quite the same. They're different colors, obviously, but they are the same size. And that was what I really was worried about. In order to do it, I meant to cut one of these out. I meant to cut one of these out and take it with me into the store so I could kind of like measure in the store. And I did not do that. I wasn't feeling great the day that I went in there. I had a really bad like sinus headache. So I just didn't. So I found myself in the Dollar Tree trying to like mentally remember what size the cards were. And of course, that's useless. So what I did was I bought like 4 different packs of cards. And I kind of compared them all, made sure that I lined up all different sizes. Um, and then these are the ones that actually fit. But I got 4 different size cards, and the ones that I don't use are going to go in my Christmas pile. They will be Christmas gifts for my niece, perhaps. Or sometimes we do like those stockings, like ABG on our campus, Alpha Beta Gamma, I think used to do the Christmas stockings. Um, so anyway, I'll find a use for them. Somebody will get them. What I'm doing here is just splattering some gold paint on the page. I'm just using the high flow acrylics, and my paintbrush is wet to begin with. It came straight out of the paint water, which is surprisingly clear at the moment. So I'm not really tainting the color. And I'm just doing a mix of like thick, heavy droplets splatters and very fine splatters, depending on how much paint I have on my brush. I did this the other day, and I got ink splatter all over my charger block. I don't know if you can see, but there's like gold ink splatter all over it. And I have tried to like clean it off and scrape it off with my fingernail, and I'm not getting anywhere. So it will forever have gold splatter on it, apparently. But that is much like everything else in my life that has paint splatter on it. It's pretty standard. Um, I did recently just try out Murphy's oil soap as a means of removing acrylic paint. And so I do have a couple of shirts that I'm hoping I might be able to save with some Murphy's oil soap, but I'm not sure. Although it's ruined right now with paint anyway, so it can't. The oil soap can't make it any worse, right? I imagine what I'll have to do is use the oil soap to remove the paint, and then I'll have to use like Dawn dish soap to remove the oil. So it sounds like a multi-step process, but again, the shirt is already ruined, so I guess it can't get any worse. All right, I'm just looking around to see Where else I need some gold splatter? I think I'm going to call it about done. So I've got 3 of these. This is the one I've just done right now. I've already done the other 2. So you can see the same patterns, the same stamping, and the same splatters. So I have just repeated this pattern on this page as well as the 3rd one. Okay, similar coverage, stamping, splattering, and mark making. So I'm going to let this dry, and the cutting out of the cards, I think, is going to be pretty tedious. So probably what I will do is I won't film that part. I'll just maybe sit in front of the TV or something and cut them out when I'm not trying to record. And I'll come back and try to figure out how I'm going to cover the tops, the fronts of the cards. So I don't want to smear it. Well, it's still wet. I have these, which were on that photo paper. I have cut these out. So again, I just did that while I was actually, I think I was watching Hulu or Peacock or something. I don't know. Anyway, I was watching something, and I was cutting these out there. So it goes by pretty fast when you're not really paying attention. So that's probably what I'll do with the cards as well. And I'm going to try and figure out what I want to do around the outside. I'm not sure. On one hand, I would like them to all have like a similar feel to this, but some of the pictures really don't lend themselves well to this pattern. They're much more like muted. The color palette is. So I don't know. Do I want just like book pages? Maybe I could just do like antique book pages on this side with the image. And then I don't know, maybe I could bring some of these colors in or the gold in like around maybe the edge of the card. I don't know. This is fun of creating, right? Because I don't really know how it's going to turn out or what I want to do. So right now, it's all up in the air. It's all possibility, folks. We'll see what happens. Stick with me. Oh, Lord, I am getting gold ink everywhere. I need to clean these stamps because they are a menace. All right, folks, have a great night. I'll see you in the next video. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me if you've ever made anything like this. Tell me if you have ideas for what I should do or how I should do it. I'd love to hear your suggestions. And just have a great night, folks. I'll see you later.